What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another Halloween set. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I created these Corpse Bride Nightmare Before Christmas mashup airbrush nails. This hands down is my favorite Halloween set I've ever done. I can't wait to show you guys how I created it. I'm going to be doing my duck flare bell bottom type nail shape today. I shape my nails up off camera. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you know that I call them bell bottom nails because the way I shape them up is like not too flared, just like a little bit. But I've been getting a lot better at doing like the duck nail like flare shape, and I really like the way these look. Like it's not too much, just enough. Because like the really wide duck nails kind of look weird on me, at least, and I don't really like them. But you guys said that you like how I do them. So yeah, I'm prepping my nails right now. I'm doing an acrylic set today. So I'm using 1 coat of Mia Secret dehydrator and 2 coats of Young Nails protein bond. And excuse the lighting towards the beginning of the video. I was having some issues with my lighting, so it looks a little bit washed out towards the beginning of the video, but I ended up fixing it later on, like when I get into the design. So yeah, I look like a little bit pale right now, so just ignore that. And my brush is a little bit frayed, but I managed to still do a neat application, so bear with me. I do need to get a new acrylic brush. I've just like been putting it off because they're so expensive, and I just don't want to pay like $50 for a new acrylic brush right now. So we're gonna work with what we got. The struggle is real lately. But anyways, I'm gonna be building up this nail with Mia Secret clear acrylic because I'm just painting over this nail later on, so I really don't care how it looks underneath. I know you can see like my nail bed through it and everything. Like I said, I'm painting over it, so I don't really care how it looks. Before you do start applying your acrylic though, you might want to put like a thin layer of clear down to like protect your nails from colored acrylics and stuff. I already have a little bit of nude acrylic on my nails. I usually put that on my nails, so when I'm in between changing nails, I just like follow down to it and use it as a guide so I don't follow through my natural nail. It's kind of faded off, but I don't really care because I'm just going over them really quick. Anyways, I'm doing my usual 3-bead method to build up my nails and then just adding acrylic in if I need to. So I always start with my first bead to build up the free edge of the nail. The second bead, I put it where the tip and the natural nail meet to start building my apex, and then the third bead is my cuticle bead to further build the apex. And I usually get the perfect structure for my nails like that, except when I run into colors like this next one. It's Mia Secret Cover Nude Blush. I love this color. It's like the best nude shade for nail beds, but it is a little bit like sheer when you brush it out, so you have to go in with like extra beads in order to build up the color. But other than that, I like it because it's affordable and it's a really pretty color. I don't mind like adding extra beads to build it up. Other than colors like this, I usually do that method when I do acrylic to build up my nails. It all depends on the brand and the formula of the acrylic. You kind of have to just adjust depending on the brand. But yeah, as you can see, this color kind of shears out towards the tip, so I will be adding in a couple extra beads just to kind of build up the color because it gets a little bit like milky looking towards the tip. But I always get the perfect size apex and just enough thickness towards the free edge. And I'm not going to be capping any of these colored acrylics that I'm using because they don't need to be encapsulated. And I'm also going to be building up the next nail with this color as well, because these are going to be the 2 French nails. And when you're doing duck nails, you want to be kind of mindful of like the amount of product you're using, because you don't want to apply too much product and mess up the shape. I try to just apply enough to where I don't have to like do that much filing, because if you get to filing too much, you'll ruin the like flare type of look. So I'm always like patting the sides and wiping the very tip to keep the shape.
Springy.
On this nail, I'm going to be building it up with this white shade that I mixed up. It's just Mia Secret clear acrylic and then some of Macart white acrylic. I mix it together to create like this more like pigmented milky white, if that makes any sense. It's not like a super bright white, but it's also not like too milky where it's like jelly looking. It's kind of like in the middle. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But this is also a color that kind of shears out, so I'm going in with extra beads to make sure it's more pigmented. This is a nail that I'm going to be putting the decal on. You want to have a white base for the decal, so that's why I'm applying extra beads to build up the color. Okay, so now that the base is done on the nails, I'm going to start debulking them. So I'm using a 180 sanding band and my Melody Susie nail drill. I have everything I'm using linked in the description box, by the way. But yeah, I'm using a mandrel bit because I didn't apply these too thick, so I'm just kind of going in and evening everything out. I'm using my drill on 12,000 RPMs. Like I said, when I do duck nails, I try not to add too much product because I'm always paranoid that I'm gonna file away the flare. It's happened a lot in the past. So if you apply the product just right and like pat the sides and the tip, you should just have to go in really quick with your drill bit and just kind of like smooth over any like bumps and even out the nail overall. So I always start by filing around the cuticle area first to seal it, and then as you can see, I'm filing side to side down the nail to like even the entire nail out. And I'm also filing underneath the nail to get product out of there or plastic from the nail tips or whatever. And then I kind of just go in along the sides a little bit to just bring the shape back, because when you apply the product you kind of lose the shape. And then right under the very tip of the nail, I like file in the middle to create like a C curve. That's what gives it that really cute like flare. Next, I'm going to take my hand file and shape them up. So when I do duck nails, I try not to file too much on the sides. I only file just enough to kind of bring the shape back, and that's it. Like I said, you don't want to file too much or you're going to file away that flare and it'll just look square in the end. You want to keep that like flared look, since that's the whole purpose of doing the duck like bell bottom type of look that I like to do. So I hold my file straight on the side of the nail and just follow the shape of the nail and just file straight up and down a couple times just to bring the shape back, and that's it. I don't file the very tip of the nail. I file that with my drill. So make sure when you're filing that part, like the very tip of the nail with your drill, it's neat, because you can't go in with the hand file if you're doing this type of like C-curve look that I do, because then you'll file away that C-curve. And then when I'm done filing my nails, I just buff over the surface of the nail to get out the scratches. And then I also file underneath the nail. This will smooth out any rough edges and stuff so they're not sharp. Alright, moving on to the design. As you can see, I finally fixed the lighting in this portion of the video, but it's all situated now. So as you can see, I'm using my detail brush to start painting the French on my nails. I always start by using my detail brush to make a rough outline of how I want the smile line. Then I fill in the tip with the polish brush out of the bottle, and then I just go back in with my detail brush and neaten up the smile line and cure. The color I'm using to do the French is called Frosted Crystal. It's from Madame Glam. I always wipe the sides too when I'm doing duck nails to help keep the shape, because if you apply too much product, they tend to get wider, and I really don't like that. So I wipe the sides a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and paint this entire nail with that same blue shade from Madame Glam. To paint the swirly design on this nail, I'm going to use the shade Baby Blue from Madame Glam. This is like such a throwback shade. This was like one of the first gel polishes I got from Madame Glam. I'm surprised it's still good. They like literally last forever, and they're so good. I love like using Madame Glam gel polishes for my nail art because they're like that cream gel consistency, so they don't run on the nail when you use them. So I'm taking my detail brush and I'm doing like a swirly design around the nail. So when you're doing this, you're gonna kind of want to wiggle your brush so it looks kind of like creepy. I can't explain it, but it's supposed to look like a creepy spinny design. So yeah, just kind of like wiggle your brush as you go around the nail, and then when you get like towards the sides of the nail, it gets way easier because all you have to do is kind of like draw lines instead of going all the way around. Now I'm going to go ahead and start doing the airbrush effect. I'm going to be using these butterfly stencils for this nail. So you just want to place them on the nail after cleansing them with isopropyl alcohol to get that tacky layer of gel off of your nails. I already did that off camera. So I'm just placing the stencils where I want the butterflies. Make sure they're flat on the nail and not coming up. And I'm going to be using my sky blue airbrush gel nail polish from Savillon. I love these airbrush nail gels. They're already mixed up. You don't have to dilute them or anything. I'm using it on pressure 1. I'm doing like an aura effect on this nail. So you want to back up the airbrush and spray in circular motions to get that aura effect, like a gradient. And then when you're done, you want to make sure you clean around the cuticle area before you cure it. If you have some of that stuff that you put around the cuticle area to protect it, you can put that on before doing this as well. I don't have any of that, unfortunately. And then I'm doing the same thing for the butterfly nail, just kind of like spraying very lightly in circular motions. And then I'm making sure to clean off the nail bed and around the cuticle area before I cure. And the airbrush machine that I'm using is from Pelka's, and I do have this linked in my Amazon store, as well as the airbrush nail gels from Savillon. They come in a set of like all these colors. So if you're like looking for a lot of colors for your airbrush machine, I highly recommend this set. I've been using it like ever since I got it. It comes with so many colors and you don't have to dilute them or anything. Okay, now that the airbrush is done, I'm gonna go ahead and draw like some little swirly tree roots. I guess that's what they're called from the movie. So to do this, you're gonna want to do the same thing, kind of like wiggle your brush while you're doing it so it looks kind of like creepy and stuff, and then make like little thorns sticking out. I didn't like the way this looked, so I took it off and redid it. But yeah, you want to make like little thorns going up. These are the decals that I'm going to be using. They're from Nails by Ken's on Instagram. I saw a set that she did with these and I found out she actually makes the decals, so I went ahead and bought them. They're so cute, and the set that she did with them kind of like inspired me to do this set. So yeah, you just want to kind of cut the decal out, place it in water for a couple seconds, take it out, and then place it on a paper towel, remove the backing and just like dry it off a little bit. Then apply a base gel to your nail and place it into the gel and cure. These are a little bit thin. The first one that I did actually crumbled, so I wasn't able to use it. So I'm going to use the Nightmare Before Christmas one on the other nail, but they're super cute. You just have to be really careful. Just kind of like pat it on real quick and then cure. I just trimmed the excess off after I cured because I had an issue with the other one, leaving it on the nail too long. It started to like crinkle and this was the best that I could get it, so I'm gonna work with what I got and just use a little bit of rhinestone gel to add some rhinestones up towards the top of the nail and the bottom to like cover up the blank spaces. I wasn't able to get the decal all the way up by the cuticle area. It was a little bit hard, so that's why I'm just gonna add some rhinestones. It actually turned out cute anyway. Finish up, I'm going to use some rhinestone gel to add a butterfly charm to this nail, and I'm also going to add more rhinestones to the other nails and then just top coat all of them with some gel top coat, and I'm done. I really hope you guys like this set. I really love the way it turned out. I love the shape and I love the whole design. It really reminds me of the movie. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments. If you could leave me a like before you leave as well, I would really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you're new, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'll see you guys in my next video. Happy Halloween. Bye. Love you guys.
Winnie. Winnie. Rainy.